Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So, it has been a while, right, with the OCG format or OCG metagame, but I was like, it didn't really seem too important or too new, right, to review the OCG format past couple of weeks, but as you might have seen, like last week-ish, yeah, pretty much last week as you see here in the pie charts from previous weeks, but most recently the OCG got a new set with the new Ishizu cards. And if you saw them, they 4 monsters, a couple of traps as well. We'll come back to those in a couple of moments, but they're finding their way into the new tier element deck. And the reason being is that they, at least when I'm looking at the monsters themselves, like Yugioh, for example, and Kelbeck, they have the capability that when they are sent to the graveyard, you and your opponent need to mill the top 5 cards of the deck. So it's basically a huge charge of the library gates. You know, and for tier elements, that's ridiculous. That's really mind-blowing ridiculous. But ridiculous in a couple of moments. So the OCG format is coming to an end. Their new, at least I'm expecting their new ban list probably next week-ish. But anyway, this is the most recent pie chart. So Splight, can we say Splight is still tier 0? Probably not. Again, more results in a couple of moments, but it's still, of course, the best deck in the OCG, but Tearalaments is quickly after, especially because of the new Ishizu card. So the first, build, or the Splight deck list reviewed by Road to the Kim himself is the list you see here. And actually, as he mentioned on the website, is that this is actually the first time that the go second build of Splight is being used, you know, in like competitive meta. So players aren't really expecting it just yet. And with go second, I mean, you know, as you see here in the deck list, running cards in the main deck like Talents, Dark Ruler no more. There's Judgment as well, Vanity's Emptiness, which, you know, you think rather are very strong go first, but there's a reason for that. Of course, as you know, Splight can play through multiple hand traps, and even then you need to have the you know, the correct hand traps, and you need to time them right and hope that your opponent doesn't have call by or cross out. So I feel that this might indeed be the correct push for now in the OCG, and that's moving away from the other than Ash and Maxi. You know, those are pretty much the most important hand traps, but main decking other stuff, going second stuff like Dark Ruler, Emptiness, Judgment, eventually, or yeah, Judgment being, it's so flexible, right? If you're going first, that is. Same for Emptiness, which could, you know, just win you the duel instantly if it's activated. So I can definitely feel this one, and that's the last thing for Splight is that as soon as your opponent knows you're playing the go second deck, as in less hand traps, more Dark Ruler no more Judgment, then your opponent doesn't need to fear the potential Maxi if you use it on them, because, I mean, if you're running like 15, 18 hand traps with Nibiru, Imperm or whatever, then obviously if your opponent Maxis you, you want to stop. But if the only hand traps you're playing are Ash and Maxi, your opponent can just play through a Maxi and potentially push for game, right? So it's an iffy one, but again, closing the format, I'm not seeing Konami hitting Splight just yet. Maybe Toads? That's something. Yeah, we'll see next week, or maybe the week after, but that's it for Splight. And then, the nice, at least, is it surprising? Maybe a little bit. I mean, the thing is that it's Winda Turbo, basically. You know how strong Winda is against Splight, against most decks, Exosisters as well. It's basically the third best deck in the OCG, but a couple of things here for tier elements. And as you see, they're running the new Ishizu cards, like 4 monsters if I'm not mistaken, 2 of them, Yugioh and whatchamacallit, the Kelbeck, they both have the capability or effect that when they are sent to the graveyard, very similar to, you know, like full from your hand or from the deck, both players need to mill the top 5 cards from their decks. So It speaks for itself why this is superb in Tearlaments, basically free fusions. Plus, and that's why Exchange of the Spirit is there, as you know it got errata some time ago, they'll gain beneficial effects, and that's why the bottom row there, the Gravekeeper's Trap is there. It's a mind-blowingly strong trap, especially in the mirror match, where continuous trap, where it says that if you have Exchange of the Spirit in your graveyard, your opponent can't activate effects, if I'm not mistaken, in the graveyard. He cannot special summon from the graveyard, so it basically blocks a lot of decks, but with the biggest restriction that you have to have Exchange of the Spirit in your graveyard. So hence why our players are playing more copies of Exchange of the Spirit in their deck. But it's a really mind-blowing deck. It's a scary deck, actually. But again, basically win that dot deck. Okay, you can special summon win that kind of easy, you know, with that one-off Shadow piece, but I mean, players are main-necking more Shadows as well. You'll see other builds, but here, this particular player went really high on those Ishizu cards, right? Two of them that mill the top 5, while the other two have the capability to special summon themselves from the hand. Fairies, by the way, so you can send them from the, you know, deck to the graveyard with Herald, so that's why Herald is there. Basically an Armageddon Knight to mill 5 for free, and that means free fusion summons. So all in all, this is really scary. We've had, at least the OCG had like a small short tier 0 format with Splight reigning terror, but seeing how strong the Ishizu cards are here in Tearlaments, it's really scary. So that's basically it for Road of the King. While, and that's the second tournament here also featured on Road of the King. It was won by Tearlaments, so not Splight, and second deck was also Tearlaments. So, is that something? Again, these results are quite new yet. Okay, give players some time to adopt, right? But still. It's something to, you know, take into consideration how strong the Ishizu cards are. So the first place and second place decklist, as you see here, again, no surprise, right? Again, two Tearlaments decks, while the first one is a little less heavy on the Ishizu cards, only the, you know, the one of the mill 5 ones. And other than that, I don't think any surprising cards. Pretty much almost my build that I was running previously, a small Shadow package as well. While the second decklist, again, is a go second decklist. The grass looks greener build featuring Lava Golem. I hate Lava Golem, but Shadow Fusion, obviously, basically, again, a free winner. I'm not sure. Well, if grass is legal, you can definitely go for the 60 card build, right? You won't get punished for that. While third place is another Tearlaments deck, this time with Danger. So I'm not sure how strong this one is. Again, somewhat heavy on hand traps as well. But okay, you're kind of focused on just, you know, kind of pure going for fusions with your Tearlaments. But I'm really leaning towards the, whatchamacallit, the Ishizu deck. I'm definitely going to try that out in a couple of days. And then top 4 from the tournament, there's one Splight deck. Any surprises? Well, I think this is just regular Splight. So going first Splight, I guess we can call it now. Called by Crossout, and, you know, the galore of hand traps with Diva. Another tournament was featured on Yu-Gi-Oh! Edition Singapore. Facebook, again, all the sources will be in the video description. Again, a couple of decklists you see here, both 60 cards heavy first and second place, but again, heavily running, at least the left on the Ishizu cards featuring Grass Looks Greener. Only one Exchange of the Spirits. It's a card that you really don't want to draw, but you want to have it in your graveyard as soon as possible. So, okay, you might want to run 2 cards to, you know, get that beneficial effect of the Gravekeeper's Trap. While the right side, no surprises there. I mean, it's very similar to the Brandon decks we now have in a TCG. And then last, we have the third deck, I guess you would forget in this format, but Exosister is still strong. They, you know, some time ago got a 1 card, you know, Exceed, double Exceed. It's really strong, but it seems, you know, Splight and especially Tearlaments are so strong. Much stronger, and it seems that, well, I was about to say that Winda definitely takes a hit for this deck, or, you know, is huge against this deck, but I mean, you can definitely play around that. And okay, Maxi Veilers are there, Ogre as well, so it's an iffy one, but I'm looking forward to the OCG ban list or Forbidden and Limited list in a couple of weeks. Maybe next week, probably next week. I'm not expecting too much. Maybe totally awesome, but I feel that's pretty much it. Okay, So this might be our format. When is it? August 2022? Somewhere like that, right? Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Riddim signing out. Peace.